Hello, dear friends, this is Marla, and I want to talk about The Sound of the Fury, a book written by William Faulkner. First of all, we are going to talk about the author. He is an American author who was born in New Albany, Mississippi in 1897. He was influenced by his mother and his grandmother because they were also artists. He was raised by a black woman called Caroline Barr. He was very intelligent at school and he had a lot of talent when writing. When he grew up, he tried to enter to the US military, but he was rejected. So he joined the Canadian Flyers during the war. But finally, he continued training for the war ended. He traveled a lot. He lived for 5 years in Paris. However, he didn't belong to the last generation, that was a group of important artists of the epoch. His literary success started when he published The Sound of the Fury in 1929, as it is a narrative from four different people that belong to a family, including a person with intellectual disabilities. It is important because it talks about the values that are lost in the family. He also worked in Hollywood on film scripts as a co-writer. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1949 and the Pulitzer Prize for the Rebels before he had, before he died in 1962 due to heart attack. Some of the historical context, the novel is framed after the Civil War, who is important, in which many rights become part of the literature and the culture in favor of women and colored people. Those aspects made the American people change their lives and the ways of they thought about the rights of the woman and the black people. They didn't live anymore on farms, but they start to live in big cities and they become consumers in societies as it is become an industrialized world. Technology had also part with the creation of some machines as the vacuum cleaner, as the washing machine that made easier women's life. There was also great migration of African Americans from the south of and north of the country, so it was increasing the black culture. He also developed his work during the Great Depression, which there was a very difficult economic downturn. Many banks failed, and there were millions of people unemployed because of the declining of the industry. The capitalism failed, and the society literature was a renewed state of the interest. Mm, in the United States, um, William Faulkner belonged to a farm family, but his father was working in a bank, so he came to the city and started his work as writer. This novel was written in four parts that are told in different moments of the of the life. The first one, it's in April 7th, 1926. It's told by Benji, a man with an intellectual difficulty. At the beginning, it is a little difficult to understand what he says. At the beginning, it's a little difficult to understand what he says, but while reading, we can understand that Benji Thompson lives in a world that is basically the yard of the house. He tells what he can perceive by his senses, as he has a mental disability, through the time passing doing a golf course. During that time, Benji thought about the past and some members of his family, as his grandmother, who was an important part of his life. Then his mind returned to present, and he thinks about Mrs. Kentin, who is his sister. Um, as he has a mental difficulty, he can differentiate present from past. In this part, we can appreciate unconsciousness, because he is not uh, he is not realizing what is his family life, but he just live with his diseaseness. In the second part, that is John 2nd, 1910, is told by Kentim Compton. He is Benji's brother, but he is in Harvard studying because he's very smart. His story goes around a watch given by his grandmother. He's always thinking about his sister Candy and her pregnancy, because she got pregnant because of a relation out of his marriage. It is somehow broken value in the family. This has made Kentin feel miserable and drives him to suicide. In this part, we can appreciate love, because Kentin Compson loves a lot her sister, and he feels that he can assume the problems of her and assume her pregnancy as it is a problem of him. The third part of the book, it's called April 6, 1928. It is told by Jason Compson. It is other brother from Caddy and Kentin Compson. After his father and brother's death, he is the one who takes care of the for the family. He took the responsibility for his family. However, he isn't so nice. He supports his mother, his brother, Benji, and his niece. At this moment, he noticed that her niece is following the same steps as her mother, Caddy, so her sister. In addition, he reflects the kind of man who is hypocrite, as he appears to be the only one member who is good in the family, but he has problems related to his job and money, and uses Caddy's money for his for fixing those problems. Here we can appreciate the materialism, as he only cares about money, only cares about having. He didn't appreciate Caddy's daughter, as she was born out of the marriage. So he just take care for the family in order to be recognized as a good son. In the fourth part of the book, April 8th, 1928, it is told by Omniscient Teller. In this, Dilsey, the one of the servants of the family, goes to the church, and she prays for her owners, and she takes care of Benji. During this moment, Miss Kentin steals a big amount of money to Jason, the one that her mother has sent her. Her uncle follows her without any answer, so Benji and he finally return to home. Dilsey is the example of slavery at that time, but also is the representation of goodness and values in the story. family, union, happiness, and simple things, habits are in this part of the story. Because the black woman who take care of Benji is the one who really loves her, loves him, who takes care of him. However, she is not recognized as a good person because at that time slavery and black people didn't have rights that that's what why the civil war appeared, because they were looking for the rights. Why do I recommend this book? Well, this is a kind of novel in which you can see how women have another role, not the typical one, obedient, passive, but the one who can decide by herself about her life without following rules and stereotypes. Besides, we can analyze how a perfect family is full of mistakes and how their acting, like lacking of values, takes them to death. Mm, the way it's told makes us think about different points of view from different perspectives. We can compare it with most of the families nowadays, which are separated for material things, and the ones who wants to appear or look like happy families, but they are not. So I really recommend this book. At the beginning, it's a little hard to read, but little by little you can understand how it is written and why is it written. Thank you very much. Bye bye.